All right, guys. So the financial markets have been in an absolute whirlwind. In today's video, we're going to learn what's exactly going on in the markets, what does it hold for the future, and what's really driving these abrupt changes since Trump came into power. Now, the immediate aftermath of the election was that the markets ripped much higher, right from cryptos to the equities market to every asset class, even gold. Everything shot up quite a bit. But since his election, a lot has changed. The key thing that has changed is that inflation expectations in the US economy have shot up quite massively because of the threats of on and off tariffs and the retaliation by other countries involved in these tariff wars. There is an expectation that inflation, which is one of Trump's biggest goals to actually control, there's an expectation that inflation will actually go up. Now, what this practically means is that the Federal Reserve will have to control or tame this inflation by increasing rates, or potentially, which is a more likely scenario, is to keep the rates at the higher level which they are at for a longer duration. And this is what's actually spooked the market. The markets were expecting that, like in the other economies, the US economy and the Fed would be on a downward path of cutting rates. But it's looking like that's not really going to transpire immediately. On the other hand, the US needs to refinance almost more than a half of its outstanding debt at the end or during the course of this year, which is a massive activity. Now, if you have been following the news closely, you understand that the interest as a percentage of the federal deficit or the federal government has expanded massively. One of Trump's main goals is to try to refinance all of this debt at a competitive rate and a much lower rate. Hence, there is a speculation that all of this threats on tariffs and higher inflation is actually meant to create an artificial crash in the economy to prompt the rates to come down quite swiftly and then refinance the markets, refinance the debt at a lower rate. Now, what is going to be very interesting is that the markets have seen a correction of nearly 10 to 15%, whether you look at the S&P 500 or Nasdaq over the last 3 months or so. And now it's effectively entered a correction territory. And so, in short, a lot hinges on the path of inflation expectations over